Hi guys, welcome to GitGo.Today. It is raining here in Sydney town. Jamie and
fabulous
Bernie.
it is.
I know.
I've just been down in Bennelong, which is down past Yass, and they had the first rain in 3 years.
Oh my God, in 3 years.
Yeah, there was a lady, we were doing auditions for a feature film for TAFE, and I was listening to some of the ladies talk out the back, and they were saying that they had to truck in water, and they had never done that before. And then the rain came. And we reckon it was the Reverend that brought the rain.
Yeah, you did do a little rain dance.
Yes, we certainly did.
How are you going this week, Jamie?
I'm good. I'm all right.
Good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh, good. Well, you might hear the rain gently falling down in the background, or you may not, but we're loving it anyway. Usually we're sitting here absolutely schwitzing.
Schwitzing.
Yeah, it's been hot,
It's been so hot. And of course, that brings us to our first topic that we want to talk about today, which is climate change. And scientists saying that we're now losing the battle. The NASA scientists have come out saying that over the past 30 years, we've actually gone up 1.35 degrees. And it's now a complete emergency, a climate emergency.
Only last year it was only 1 degree, and suddenly 0.35. That's huge.
It was the hottest February in March ever, apparently.
Yep.
So that's a bit terrifying, how people can still be denying that we're, experiencing climate change.
You know, I actually read that article, and I'll always go down the comment section for climate change, because I like to see what if there's any deniers still around, and they're out there in force. They were saying that the satellite record doesn't show any increase.
What does that even mean, the satellite record?
Well, Ted Cruz in the US has gone to the Parliament, to Congress.
Yep.
Saying that there's been no increase in the satellite record is the most accurate. Well, it's not, because it doesn't measure temperature, it measures radiation, then that's converted to temperature, and it's and satellites decay. And just last week they did another review of the temperature record that it produced, and it was up by 60%. So it's really bad. It's really bad.
It's shocking.
But even the famous deniers are in a bit of a shock, because now that they've adjusted those, they've got 60% underestimated on the satellite. So there goes the last denier.
Do you know, it doesn't matter. You can be a denier, and that's all fine. Because the thing is, did you know, and because I've been doing mathematics at my university thing, and we've been...
That's good for you, isn't it?
We've been simplifying complex equations to, factorising them, right? Making them very simple. And I think we can simplify this insanely. Did you know that in the Cold War, the internet was born out of the Cold War?
Right.
As a military computer.
Right.
To communicate with each other.
Yeah, well, just so the computers were all connected to each other. Jet aeroplanes were born out of the Second World War. Why do we need a war or a disaster like climate change to happen to initiate change? What's wrong with just wanting to go, you know what, let's not burn some more shit, because pollution's bad no matter which way you look at it. You don't need climate change.
Yeah, I know, right? You don't have to get to this point before you actually go.
You know what's interesting about the military that you mentioned there is that what we know about how carbon dioxide, mostly what we know about how it absorbs heat, is because of heat-seeking missiles. So if you tune your infrared detectors to be in the carbon dioxide band, they don't work. Right? So they did detailed analysis, the most detailed. We've known for nearly 200 years that carbon dioxide absorbs heat, but to know exactly where in the spectral band was needed to know for a heat-seeking missile. So they did atmospheric tests at all altitudes. You'll hear all these deniers saying, "Oh, it's only blah 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 blah," but no, the military did the really detailed research into it, and we know precisely how much.
My point is, we should want to do this because it needs to be done.
Yeah. And stop having a debate over whether it still exists or not.
There's no debate. There's no debate. We need to instigate this to make the planet cleaner, to just live. Exactly.
We've got a couple of really funny memes here too on climate change that kind of break it up a bit. A little bit. Change. Inverted commas. And I love the other one too with Robert Downey Jr. Also too. Look at that face. The face you make when climate change defenders can't even tell the difference between climate and weather. I love that one.
That's an interesting point though. The deniers, it's not about climate change, it's about something else, about politics, right? It's about a whole other agenda. There's nothing to do with climate. It's about rejecting people telling you what it's about rejecting a lot of other things.
It's just this just comes down to human nature. It's just somebody said something, so I'm going to disagree with it. just because I can.
Yeah. But
And
the
that-
stakes are kind of
that
high,
shits
guys.
me.
Yeah, it shits me too. Hey, we should go to our
Yeah, we've
gorgeous
got
friend
Damo.
Damien. Damien, g'day from.
She's beside me, see?
Okay, zoom in, man.
Oh,
So
there you
push your man,
go.
push your job, get a level up there. There we go.
Hello.
Ah, there you are. You're looking good.
How's Japan? Because I was looking at your Facebook feed earlier, and you've had a big dump of snow overnight.
Yes, we had probably about, for me, 10 centimetres here, but it was raining in Tokyo. Here it's snowing. It's just stopped at the moment, so we've now got blue skies and everything's white.
No.
I can see us in your reflection, Damo.
Okay, we can see ourselves.
And we're looking good.
Hey.
So what do you think?
Japan, they'll go on the other side.
What am I doing?
Gorgeous.
There you go, there you
Oh,
are.
I'm a little bit too in your face there, David.
Yeah, we've got-
There's Ben. Oh, and if I do this,
Oh, that's
there
a
he is.
bit
Sorry, guys. I'll go back here.
There we go.
I'm feeling a bit sick and queasy at
Look
home.
at him, he's been rocked around.
Hey, Damien, you were having a little bit of a gripe on Skype today, also talking about all the violence that you're hearing that's come out of home over the weekend, the Melbourne riots and all the violence in Sydney and the city on the weekend.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's lots of drunk people doing stupid things as a start.
Drunk people, you think, is this what? Because I haven't been across it.
But haven't they got those lockout laws?
They do have the lockout
So
laws.
therefore, there should be no drunk people.
Ah, so it didn't work.
You make a very fine point. I don't know what's going on, but how do you feel as an expat right now about your fellow Aussies?
I'm very embarrassed.
It just comes back to the same thing as climate change. People just wanting to be numbskulls and numpties. You know what I mean?
Numpties and
Yeah.
numbskulls. Yeah, they're
Like,
just, for
seriously.
the sake of being unsafe.
What does it prove? I'm sorry, what beating the crap out of somebody, what does it prove?
Yeah.
Nothing. That
Nothing.
alcohol.
That you're a
that
numpty.
alcohol is a really bad drug, and you shouldn't overindulge.
Hey Damo, can you? I haven't actually been following it because I've been away down south on the weekend. Can you tell me
Yep.
what was going on? Give me an idea. I've just heard there's some violence, but I don't know what it's about. What is it about?
Well, what I've been looking at and reading, and that is that there was some gangs or something were beating up some people in Melbourne during the festival, and then also in Sydney there was like one of the biggest brawls in Sydney for years. And then all of a sudden you've got the violence that's happening in the US with these what's his name,
Trump.
Trump's supporters, and it's just like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah. People giving themselves permission to, they think that they're above the law and that they're above other people and that they're better than everybody else. So you know what? I'm going to smash you, bro.
Yeah, I know, it's
You
just
know,
appalling.
it's just you know what? It's been no different since the 80s. And I can show photos, perhaps not this time, but it happened to me. I got king hit.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You showed me the
I had a
photos. It's
fractured
hideous.
skull and a broken jaw.
Did you
And-
press charges?
Yeah. He got away with. He didn't go to jail. Didn't have to do anything, I don't think, except for pay my medical bills.
Be a bit different now.
They
then,
got
will
charged with assault, not with grievous bodily harm, and I've got a hole in my skull now, and
Oh my God.
had to have corrective surgery to fix it up. They didn't do a very good job.
Oh, look at him. Oh,
great.
you still come out sweet.
You do.
Yeah.
So, Damien, how do you go with violence in Japan? I mean, it seems to be such
What
a kind
violence?
of exactly. It seems to be a culture of such refined people. Is there much violence, street violence, or anything?
oh God, no. There's no violence at all.
What about Yakuza?
Oh yeah.
See, that's the funny thing. The Yakuza keeps it in the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if they have a fight, like at the moment, in Japan, there's the Yamaguchi Gumi. Okay, they're the big Yamaguchi Gumi. They're the biggest Yakuza organization, and they're down south, but they've got affiliates all over the place. Now, at this present time in Japan, they're having a split. The organisation splitting, and there's two rivals now internally that are trying to take control of the Yamaguchi Gumi.
Oh,
No, but this is the funny thing, is that the police have already gone on the air and said, oh, this is what's happening, so don't worry, chill out, and because they only shoot and kill each other. And the thing that gets me is, like, if they do kill someone that was like, oh, they're like this has happened like 4 times that there's been a big violence in the organisation. And out of those 4 times, there's only been 2 civilians that have been killed.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, those 2 civilians, the Yamaguchi Gumi, have actually gone to the families of, we're really, really sorry, give them payment, they've paid them off, they've done all this, really, really sorry.
So the Yamaguchi Googie are good Googie eggs.
They self-police.
Boom,
Boom.
They self-police, and the funny thing is, if there is violence and they do kill somebody, they'll actually call the police and say, hey, there's a dead body here coming out.
That's hilarious. Yeah, better not let the stench litter the streets.
Cleanliness is big.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's it. The police know they keep it internal. They, the public aren't involved, and they just tell the public that, hey, violence is going to happen, so just chill out, relax. You might get guns.
Going to be having a bit of a shootout now, so
Yeah, be
no.
prepared.
Yeah, so it's really that's the biggest violence that happens here, and we literally get told in advance that it's going to happen.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you for giving our weekly hit of Japanese understanding of
that's
culture.
That's all right, not a problem.
You know what we should do, Damo? We should do Japanese culture.
With Damo,
With
yeah.
Damo.
Can we get
Japanese
you out there
culture.
doing some stuff on the streets for us?
Yeah, sure, not a problem.
That'd be unreal.
great,
That'd be
okay.
unreal.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
All
lovely.
right, we'll talk to you.
Bye, mate.
Go play in the
Bye-bye.
snow. Ciao, ciao.
Ta-ta. And Googie Googie.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, no, whatever.
Googie, googie.
So one of the other things that I was reading about this week that I thought was really hilarious is that there's a website in the States, it's a humour website called Funny or Die. And Johnny Depp, it's like a comedy site where a whole lot of actors and quite famous people like to go and do skits. And Johnny Depp played Donald Trump in
Ron
this
Howard directed it.
Yes, in this 50-minute skit. So,
That's got to be good, isn't it?
Oh,
Denier.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good link.
Exactly.
Segue.
The denier, Donald. So I thought we should have a little look because.
I'm supposed to be doing that, aren't I?
Yes,
Yeah, we got it on the computer. Here it is.
Here we
Right
go.
out.
Okay, this is the Guardian website, everybody.
Yeah.
Good. So,
Can you make it
here we
big?
go. Yeah, can make it big.
Yeah,
This is
make it large.
hilarious. Look at him.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing? Bring it
Yeah,
back.
sorry.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
My wife, the Czechoslovakian immigrant, Donald Trump.
Are you a princess?
Not hardly. So Donald has me working all the day at the casino.
What she's talking about is the most elegant, sensational Trump castle in Atlantic City. She runs it.
Oh, yes.
Taj Mahal is still the ultimate dream, of course.
Yes, it is a building more beautiful than anything or anyone.
That is correct.
Yes, I know. He make me dress up as the Taj Mahal sometimes. It's very heavy. I broke my clavicle once.
Obviously, Ivana's jealous because she won't be buried in the Taj Mahal since she's not my third wife. But, being entombed forever in Trump Castle,
Trump Castle. Yep.
not so bad.
Oh, he's so damn clever. I mean, unless I'd have, read that was Johnny Depp, I would not have recognised him. How about you guys?
Yeah, he's got
No,
awesome
no
job.
way, no way.
amazing.
I mean, I've got a picture of him up here. Where is he? Johnny Depp is Donald Trump.
Now, obviously, he was playing
There he is.
There he
Trump
is.
during the 80s period
There
when
he
he was
goes.
still married to Ivanka.
He looks like him.
Yeah,
He looks
look at that.
amazing. Yeah,
That's nuts.
extraordinary. Yeah, that's amazing.
And Donald was like this too. Yeah.
And the hair's so great.
But you know, the scary thing is that they're having to go to these levels to try and dissuade people to vote from voting for him.
Oh, that's right, because he's a steam train. You know what? And there's your rednecks again, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that all of the, the masses of, gay and lesbian community, African Americans, all of the people that Trump just does not support, actually put their money where their mouth is and come out and vote in mass for this election, because as you know, it's voluntary to vote in America, and I just hope it means that a whole lot of people and
You'll have to bring
the
people
Latino
out.
members
I mean, I don't know
has to,
anything
right?
about whether they care or whether they don't care or anything like that.
But how can they not care?
You know,
Yeah,
you have to admit that.
But they don't vote.
Yeah, well, I bet they do this time. That's the whole thing. It's
Yeah,
like you have,
yeah.
when you have to.
I kind of like him, though, like he's crazy. Like every other statement is exactly the opposite of what he just said.
Okay,
Right?
it's funny until it
yeah.
becomes
And it's
a
funny until
reality.
it's fucking
Yeah.
serious.
Like
Yeah.
it was funny at first, and all of us were like, "Oh, this is hilarious."
and
Donald
he'll
Trump.
never get there.
But look where
he
he's at.
could. He could.
It's actually
now.
becoming
No.
quite terrifying. I mean, look,
Terrifying's the word, yeah.
I think he's actually a really entertaining dude. I mean, he's hilarious to watch. But
They said the same about Bush just before he got in. Everyone thought, oh, this joke, he'll never get in. And then suddenly, oh my God, look what happened.
Yeah,
With,
right.
you know, Iraq.
yeah,
And that another country's frigging politician can affect us here.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
A foreign
I know.
politician.
And kill millions
I
of
know.
people.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
That just made me think about something I read in the paper this morning.
What you got there?
Dog
the
poo.
paper?
Yeah, I got the paper. Went old school this morning with my cup of tea.
Nice.
Didn't have any tea issues today, by the way. Everyone gave me my personal space, which
That's
I'm happy
nice.
about. But I was reading about this. So there's this council in the UK that's been trialling, and the Australian councils are looking at it too, trialling something where they take the DNA of dog poo and they put it into the computer system when your dog gets microchipped. So if your dog has left a poo that you haven't picked up, they can get the DNA, they can check in the system whether you're the owner of the dog, and then you get a massive
That
fine.
is just awesome.
I know, it's good,
Yeah,
right?
there was a time when DNA testing was very expensive.
You're right. Hoax, how much is that going to cost? But I think it's great because there is nothing worse than
Dog poo in your
oh,
foot.
and when you tread
Yeah,
in
I've
a
just been down in
turd.
Binalog, there's a lot of dog alert, you know, so we'll...
Hey, but
The
what-
country folk take their shoes off and they go inside.
Smart.
And I didn't know why that was. You start smelling dog poo. Who's got a dog poo? Right.
But can you imagine it? Hey, Bernie, have you got those crap samples?
Yeah,
I've got a
poo
Who does
samples?
it?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to sit there all day with
know.
dog crap.
And what if
and do the samples?
and what if someone puts in some fake poo samples, right? Because they want to frame someone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, say
Yeah.
someone was somewhere where they weren't. They just put a dog poo there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it could be
See?
misused, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It could be. And does that mean the ranger then has to go and actually
Yeah.
test the turd?
Yeah. Test the turd.
Turd test.
Test the turd.
Test the turd. And I reckon the
Yeah.
Rangers union will be wanting a bit, have something to say about that. Anyway, I thought that was a
That's
great story.
hilarious, yeah.
Onto something a little bit more serious. There's been a lot of talk about revenge porn. So a Senate committee in this country has recommended that revenge porn should actually become a federal crime because a survey by La Trobe University found out that 1 in 10 Australians, well, adult Aussies, have had a sexually explicit image of them
1 in 10?
sent to
1 in 10.
another without any permission, whether that's another person to a friend or whatever, or actually online. So
That's a big percentage.
It's a massive
huge.
statistic.
That's like 1 in 10. And they say it mostly happens to women. so
yeah,
that's 1 in
supposedly
5.
mostly to women.
Kind
Yeah.
of sites like this. No, you can't see it. It's too small.
Oh right, okay. So
But
what is
yeah,
that
yeah.
warning?
So it's a revenge porn website where they go to post the stuff.
Oh, it's
Oh,
disgusting.
it's got Donald in there. What's he been doing?
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Now, isn't there an American woman who recently did something, because it's now in Britain, it's actually a crime now, and she went to the Senate committee over there and talked about the effect that revenge porn had
Yeah.
on her life.
Yep.
Have you got something
Yeah,
there,
so
Jamie?
I have got something here. This is from The Guardian again, if you want to get that up,
Yeah.
Bernie.
Yeah.
They've posted a story here. We'll just get a little bit of it.
Okay.
There we go.
You want to know what a lesbian kiss feels like?
Chrissy Chambers is a YouTube star. Chrissy and her girlfriend Bria are YouTube's most popular lesbian content creators. The two channels they run have close to 500,000 subscribers.
So I have something to tell you.
But before Chrissy came out, she had a British boyfriend. He also has videos of her, and she says he's using them to destroy her.
Links came up that said, me fucking my ex, Chrissy Chambers. You don't see his face. You only see me. It's like being stabbed in the heart.
In April this year, it became a crime.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
That's intense.
So that's what's going on. So none of these, and it's happening to women basically.
yeah.
It's not happening to guys because guys wouldn't give a shit for a start.
They would just feel like
Well,
studs.
they would if they had a little
Yeah.
acorn penny.
Wow, that's exactly right.
Donald Trump.
You know,
Well, he reckoned
but it's happening to girls. You know.
Well, yeah,
it's
and
happening, and these girls don't even know it. So it's not like you can say, "Oh, I took a selfie," and "Oh my God, it's on the internet." How did that happen? This isn't the case.
Poor little
This
lambs.
is not the case.
And also the thing is, when young women are particularly vulnerable and their boyfriend, whom they think at the time they could be mad in love with, says, "Send me a picture of you, your boobs or whatever," and they're like, "Okay," and all of a sudden it then gets put out there.
That's different though. That's different. These
That's
girls
true.
have no idea this
That's
even
true.
happened.
That's true.
And that's the difference. I think if somebody's doing nude selfies, dude, it's like we keep saying, it's like us here on the internet, and you know, we're putting ourselves out there.
Yeah.
This can be reproduced, it can be cut up, it can, and we know that.
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
Right.
it's our choice.
We know that. And if people want to take photos of themselves, and then as soon as you press that click button, it's not yours.
I know. And you're right, there's a distinction between making that choice and then having no knowledge at all that somebody has filmed.
And this is what we're talking about here. These are girls that they had no idea, and they thought that the guy they were with, strangely enough, that he was a good guy.
Yeah, that's so hideous. Can you imagine how that must feel to actually all of a sudden realise?
I can't imagine.
And it should not be, like it should be, you know, criminalised.
And this comes back to the other points about these guys fighting, the climate change. This just comes back to people just being bad.
Yeah, I know,
You know,
right? I
when
know.
you first start a relationship, everyone's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Right,
That's
so,
right.
but we change.
Well, you want to believe the best
Well,
in
you
someone
become
when you're first dating
you
them,
become
don't
what
you?
you really were.
Yeah, right. Or your mask drops, and all of a
That's
sudden,
interesting point. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, guys.
Was that heavy enough?
That was pretty heavy.
I feel enlightened.
I know.
We've been fighting,
Have we got any fun
revenge porn,
stuff?
climate
I know.
change,
Have we got any
denial,
fun stuff
Donald
we
Trump.
can? Yeah, because we've had some people making suggestions, which are really appreciated as well for the show.
I haven't across this one. Yeah.
Which is great.
My mate Chris King, a friend of mine from Brisbane, in the band scene together there for years. He's a shooter. He has guns.
Gun guy.
He's a gun guy. He likes his guns. He's into his guns, and he wants to maybe have a chat about some pro-guns from a positive level.
He wants to talk about guns.
I'm going to completely disagree with you, Chris, but we can because we're mates.
The only reason I want to become an American citizen is so I can have a gun, but I think I'd be in jail by now.
Burn star. Yeah, well, I'm going to probably agree to disagree with you too, but I still want to hear what he's got to say.
And I don't think it needs to be, we can have a nice good chat about it.
I'd love Chris to maybe we can talk about it next week and to tune in, because I'd also love you guys to give us as many topics or things that you want to talk about as possible, because we really love being able to interact with you. And don't forget to subscribe and share as well. That would be amazing. But before we go, I was telling you guys, I was just telling you guys about this Michael Jackson. Have you got that Michael Jackson? There was this really cool, I've got it here on my phone.
Hang on, I'll plug your phone in.
Plug my phone in. There's this really cool
Watch this
little
happen.
clip
This is audio from
that
the phone.
came through a friend on Facebook this morning of Michael Jackson doing this impromptu beatboxing with Oprah years ago.
Let's have a listen.
And I just thought it was super cool.
Here we go.
Oh, hang on. This is high level stuff, guys.
Oh, you better take.
Here we go. Engineering on the fly.
Oh boy, what could I sing? Who is it? Where did that he thing come from? It just comes out of singing. Wait. I gave my money, I gave my time, I gave her everything in life one heart could find. It doesn't seem to matter and it doesn't seem right, but the will is right, no fortune, still I cry alone at night. Don't you judge of my composure, cause I'm bothered every day, and she didn't leave a letter.
Love that. Oprah just put it on Michael, and that's what he came out with. And what a phenomenal dude. I mean, seriously. And what he chose to sing about just then too. If you listen to the lyrics of what he was singing about.
I didn't. I just
how
heard
he's
the
on his
notes.
own crying at night. And there was just this sort of level. Didn't you listen to that?
Well, you're right into it.
Yeah. I'm loving it, MJ. Massive fan I was.
That's why you won't do it.
Okay.
He's the real deal. And I know everybody says that, but from a point of view of when you work with artists, when you make records and everything like that, it's normally a bit of a teeth pulling. Normally there's a lot of people supporting him. There'll be a songwriter there, or they'll write with somebody to get the songs better. There's nothing with him.
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah.
Everything was him. 100% him. He was behind it. And I used to be involved with Rod Temperton, one of his producers.
Okay.
A long time ago, and he is the real deal. There is nothing lacking in that guy. And there was a microphone on. He had this microphone. That's it.
And Oprah just put it on him, and he just did that. And he was also incredibly shy, as we all know. So the fact that he did that was
his
phenomenal.
dad was like it's the Jackson 5. Jackson 5? Yeah, ABC. Like he had a tough upbringing because his parents really pushed him. Talk about helicopter parenting.
Right? Yeah. But he was phenomenal. So I'm glad that. Thank you for doing that spontaneously, because I love it when stuff like that comes through on Facebook. Anyway, let's round up for today. Thank you, guys. Thank you to Damien. Looking forward to seeing what Damien comes up with next week. He's going to get out on the streets in Japan and do some vox popping, I reckon.
And remember
Damo, phone out.
Yes, phone out.
And guys, post some stuff on our feeds or wherever you want. GitGo website,
down there,
the page, like the page.
Over there sometimes. Over there.
And thank you for your company.
Remember, like,
subscribe, and share.